At some point in life, everyone asks the same question. Why am I here? Do I have a purpose? Is just existing enough? They teach us how to win, how to score, how to perform, but no one teaches us how to live. We grew up believing life is something to chase, to conquer, to survive. But what if the meaning of life isn't in the end, but in the moments we overlook? The smell of rain, the warmth of someone's hand, the moments we overlook may be the reason we're alive at all. This is not a guide. This is not an answer. This is an invitation to look closer, to ask better questions, to stop waiting for life to begin and start noticing it's already happening.
Let's start with the one show that hides its heartbreak behind talking animals and alcohol. Bojack is this washed-up 90s sitcom star who drinks too much, pushes people away, and self-sabotages at literally every turn. And yet, we care about him. We follow him, we root for him, and deep down, we hope he finds peace. The meaning of life isn't delivered to him in some spiritual awakening or epiphany. It's actually buried in all the mistakes he's made. Especially in Season 4, Episode 11, we watch his mother deteriorate from dementia, and Bojack finally sees the generational pain he came from. It doesn't excuse him, but it gives him context, pain passed down like an heirloom. Then fast forward to Season 6, Episode 15, that haunting dream sequence with all the dead characters. Bojack almost dies, and he meets everyone he's lost. They talk, they joke, they say goodbye. And then that chilling poem hits.
Before I leaped, I should have seen the view from halfway down. No, I really should have thought about the view from halfway down.
Find your peace, big guy. Find it.
I wish I could have known about the view from halfway down.
That's when it hits us. Life isn't about finding meaning like it's hidden under a rock. It's about what you do despite knowing how absurd it all is. Bojack showed us the quiet ache of living with yourself. But what happens when life forces you to fight? When survival means becoming something you hate? That's where Attack on Titan hits harder than almost any other show. Eren Yeager doesn't just fight titans. He fights the inevitability of suffering, of loss, of repeating the cycle of violence. And in doing so, he becomes the very thing he once vowed to destroy. Eren Yeager begins as a boy who hates titans. Simple, relatable. But the deeper the show goes, the more we realize he doesn't hate titans. He hates what they represent. Power, control, fear. He sees the people he loves ripped from him, and in response, he clings to a purpose: freedom. But it's never just about freedom. It becomes way more than that. These monsters destroyed his home, took his mother, and left him with nothing but rage. But as the series unfolds, we start to see that his hatred runs deeper than just the titans. He doesn't just hate the creatures, he hates the system that created them. The fear, the manipulation, the way people are turned into weapons and lives are thrown away like they mean nothing. By the time we reach Season 4, Episode 5, Declaration of War, that hatred has evolved into something darker. Eren sits across from Reiner, the very man responsible for his trauma. But instead of attacking him immediately, Eren listens. He hears Reiner admit that he was just following orders. It's not an excuse, it's a confession. Eren knows he's no longer a victim. He's become the thing he once vowed to destroy. The difference now is that Eren chooses to keep going, not because he believes he can save the world, but because he's convinced it can't be saved without destruction. That's his tragedy. He's driven by freedom, but it's an obsession that isolates him from everyone he once loved. And that brings us to one of the most painful moments in the series. Mikasa is faced with an impossible choice. Eren, the boy she grew up with, the person she loved quietly for years, has become the threat to humanity. And even then, especially then, she doesn't act out of hatred. She acts out of love. She kills him not to punish him, but to protect what's left of him, of who he used to be. That moment says more about the meaning of life than all the bloodshed that came before it. Because it's not just about justice or vengeance. It's about the strength to hold on to love, even when it hurts, even when it breaks you. Eren's journey is heavy, but not every answer to life's meaning has to come from destruction. Sometimes the meaning comes from connection, from believing in people, even when they let you down. And that's where Naruto comes in. Naruto Uzumaki is the loud, knuckle-headed ninja with a heart too big for his body. Naruto Uzumaki starts as a nuisance, the village outcast, a kid with no parents, no friends, and a demon fox sealed inside him. And instead of breaking, he acts out, loudly, desperately, because even negative attention proves he exists. But under that clownish exterior is someone who desperately wants connection. The first turning point for Naruto was when someone saw him truthfully and acknowledges his emotions and existence. That someone was Iruka. Iruka-sensei defends Naruto from Mizuki, not just physically, but emotionally. He tells Naruto that he understands his loneliness because he's been there too. And for the first time in Naruto's life, someone acknowledges his pain and told him that he is not the monster everyone thinks he is. Because of that, he became the very first father figure of Naruto's life. Naruto then goes on missions and adventures with everyone. Then one day, he meets someone like him, someone he could have been. He meets Obito. Obito tells him that someday Naruto will become like him. And that hits hard, because Obito used to be Naruto, a hopeful boy who believed in people. Then he watched the world crush everything he cared about. But Naruto didn't become like him. Naruto was surrounded with people who cares for him, people who love him for who he is. Naruto finds meaning not just in becoming Hokage, but in making sure no one feels the pain he felt. Obito had the same purpose. However, he chose the easy way out for everyone. He chose to control the suffering and make everyone happy, even if it means putting them on a lifelong dream. Whereas for Naruto, he chose to protect and grow. Protect his people as much as he could, while also letting them grow and learn from the suffering and mistakes all of us eventually make in our lives. Life's meaning isn't a straight line or a motivational quote you saw on Instagram. And if anime and cartoons have taught us anything, it's that the meaning of life may be found in living through every unique experience we've had, and those still waiting for us. It's not a fixed answer, but a journey that changes as we do. Through love, loss, growth, and choice, we shape our own meaning. Maybe we don't find meaning. Maybe we create it, moment by moment.